Hey folks, for no reason in particular, I'm going to show you a clip from last week's video, which I titled, "Why is Shoe on Head Like This?" That's a very fun and privileged way of looking at this topic. I use the P word so that any residual fans of this content can turn their brains off. Now, I placed that line in the script because I thought it was mildly funny. It's not like a groundbreaking joke by any stretch of the imagination, but we like to have a little bit of fun around here. I'd now like to play you a clip from an angry response stream posted by a guy named Dave. It's a very fun and privileged way of looking at this topic.
And there you have it right from the left. It's a very fun and privileged way of looking at this. This is where I'm going to end this stream for the night.
Y'all, I need you to understand that I don't think that much of what I do is especially impressive. I don't have some deep, all-seeing insight into the conservative mind that nobody else could ever attain. They're just that predictable. Let me show you another clip from my video 2 weeks ago titled "What Happened to Women," which Dave also seems to have watched at some point. I didn't mean any of that stuff. I'm neither conservative nor a man, and if you're conservative and watching this video, feel free to focus exclusively on that sentence for the rest of the video. It'll be easier than actually paying attention. Perhaps you can see where this is going. Sudden, you're wondering why this person can't answer a basic question with an obvious correct answer, right? It's of course possible that this streamer simply has no idea what's going on right outside their door and has no business being taken seriously, but it's also similarly possible that this
I love the young leftists. They just love to just insult everyone and then wonder why their side doesn't fucking win. Although I don't think this guy considers himself a guy. I think I heard some stream where he's like, "I'm not a man." I don't know what the fuck you are then. Because I see the Adam's apple.
I've tripped up people like this in incredibly funny ways in the past. The last time we did one of these videos, I got to show you probably the funniest example of conservatives missing my point I've ever seen. Seriously, watch that if you haven't. It's hilarious. But I don't think I have ever managed to get someone to trip over a thought-terminating cliche from a video they aren't even currently watching. People like this have brain deactivation on speed dial, which would be sad if it wasn't funny. If you couldn't tell, this will not be a serious video. We will not be showing this guy's vague, drunken attempts at arguments the respect he no doubt thinks that they deserve. Clips will not be played in chronological order, and serious arguments will not need to be made. As I've said before, this kind of content is a sometime snack, and today we are eating good. Sadly, I must first break some heartbreaking news to you. Dave doesn't think I'm very physically attractive. If you want to stop hearing the word so much, quit whining and try to use the millions of people who take your opinion seriously and do something about it. To give an alternative example, just to
What would you like her to do about it? Completely tank her career to go with your stupid, weird leftist ideology? By the way, would you go to a doctor and get that fucking thing removed from your face? And I voted for Hillary Clinton. Granted, I got something out of that, but I still voted for the bitch. And I voted for Democrats in the gubernatorial elections and blah, blah, blah. Give me somebody I can vote for. But the Democrats have gone fucking insane. And I guarantee you, I really hope that I'm wrong in this. Did this guy get jaw surgery?
He makes various similar comments throughout, weirdly focusing on my hair a few times. Nothing encapsulates this better than her latest video.
I swear to God, I'm going to have to cut my fucking hair. I cannot be associated with this.
And look, I obviously don't think it's the right thing to do to just go after people's physical appearances. I think that everybody has beauty, and what they look like is not a substitute for an argument. That said, I am fine with lightly jabbing back at people when they try to play this game first. So, are we sure? Are we certain that we want to be talking about hair right now? Is that really something that we want to be drawing attention to? And on the jaw surgery thing, here's the deal. It's so much funnier if I just pretend like that's true. So yes, I definitely had my jaw surgically. Actually, I don't know what operation he thinks that I got. I like, is my jaw like slightly sharper than he thinks it should be? Is it too feminine? Either way, whatever he thinks happened is exactly what happened. Now, I understand that if fans of shoes find this, I'll likely get comments to the effect of, "You've just proven her point," or calling me annoying and the reason people hate the left. And that's like all well and good. Find me as annoying as you like. It will.
Also, my bigger problem is, why are you a grown ass man with a t-shirt on that looks like it's The Hungry Caterpillar, which is a book for fucking kindergartners? Grow up.
Okay, I included this because I think it actually gives me a chance to share something like a little bit personal with you guys, and that's fun. So, this T-shirt, well, I probably should have unfolded it first. This T-shirt was a gift from my sister. We watched the Jenny Nicholson Trapped in a Island with Josh Hutcherson video a couple years ago, and both independently bought each other the exact same shirt for Christmas a few months later. Like I wear this shirt because I have love in my life, I guess is the point that I'm getting at. Would it be a problem if I wore a shirt from The Very Hungry Caterpillar? That's what the book is actually called for any fake fans out there. No. Is it weird that he invented a t-shirt that doesn't exist just to complain about it? Who's to say? In this next portion of my video, I point out that conservatives often misdefine the word socialist and other similar words, but note that even though they misunderstand it, the word still has meaning. It'd be pretty dumb if I started pretending that socialist is now a complete nonsense term because some people misused it. But
Well, you do use it as a complete nonsense term because you think it can work. And it doesn't. It fails.
That's not how language works. Setting aside the whole socialism doesn't work argument, because I don't think I've ever even made a video about socialism, words still mean things even if they describe something that doesn't work in the real world. Here, I'll give you an example. Trickle-down economics. Does it work? Obviously not. Yet everybody knows what I mean when I say it. Language is fun. Misused them before? Sure. That's what happens when you have a language. People disagree sometimes.
And if you actually met a true blue racist, you'd probably piss your fucking pants. But thankfully, there's only about 3,000 of them for the entire country. So your odds of actually meeting a true blue racist is pretty low. Except if they're black, and then you assume it's impossible for them to be racist.
But this cowardly position is exactly the cover used by open bigots to defend themselves. Just a few days ago, a major right-wing content creator...
you are aware it's possible for black people to be racist against white people, right? Right? They just have to be racist. Right?
I cannot stress enough that this subject did not come up in my video. I at no point even brushed up against the idea that black people can't be racist. I know I shouldn't even give this argument the time of day, but maybe someone watching will find this a little bit useful. Black people can't be racist is a definition argument, not a statement about the real world. The statement is made by people who use a definition of racism that is different from the definition that many other people use, oftentimes in like academic circles. Some people don't find this definition of racism, the power plus prejudice definition, to be especially useful. In fact, in general parlance, I am one of those people. I think in most conversations, systemic racism essentially fills that social role. If somebody decides to ask me, can black people be racist for some reason, I don't know why they're asking that, whatever, I would answer, sure, but I cannot muster the energy to care. Black people being racist against white people doesn't crack my top 1,000 concerns with modern society. If somebody thinks that white people are the genetically inferior race, that is a silly opinion. Call me when more than 6 people believe it, and then I'll start worrying. You may also come away thinking this, given she's publicly friends with one of the most popular fascist streamers on the internet. That does sort of color folks' opinions, I'll admit.
I'm not going to cry a fucking river.
Oh, of course. We all gotta blame Asmongold. We all gotta blame him.
Perhaps my favorite running trend in this video is that this guy just does not know what words mean. At no point did I blame Asmongold for something. I just described him as a fascist, because he is. Blame would imply that I identified him as being responsible for some real-world event, which it might be hard for him to do, given that'd require the guy to go outside.
Kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways.
I should inform you.
Now, I'm going to ask this young man, I'm going to assume you're a male feminist. You one of the male feminist allies? Yay! So, are you cool with women not being allowed out in public unless they're damn near totally covered except little islets? You fine with women not being able to leave the house at all unless they have a male escort? You cool with forced marriages?
Once again, this has nothing to do with anything that I said, but I, and genuinely almost every left-wing person I know in real life, does not support religious fundamentalists suppressing women. People like Dave like to pretend that it's all Muslims doing this shit, but of course it isn't, not by a long shot. As it turns out, fundies of every religion have shitty views on gender and sexuality. Liberal Christians and liberal Muslims have far more in common than, say, liberal Christians and fundamentalist Christians. In virtually all circumstances, the label someone puts on their belief system or their religion has very little to do with, like, the kind of person they are in the real world. Ask myself who would benefit most from me holding that opinion. For example, if I'm considering an economic policy, would that policy be good for
Okay, you're considering an economic policy. Okay, fine.
or Bill Gates, or would that policy be good for the average run-of-the-mill Microsoft employee? It's by no means a perfect rule, but it's helpful.
Wrong.
If your goal is to make sure that you aren't being manipulated into harming people or helping
Wrong.
people who want to cause harm.
Wrong.
I bring this up because I want you to consider who
Wrong.
benefits the most from
Wrong.
foolishly pretending the word
Wrong! God damn it! Wrong!
racist no longer holds any meaning. Who would most
When you hold an economic policy, you should ask only one question. Does it help me? If it does, vote for it. If it doesn't, vote against it. Does it help me? Fuck everyone. Fuck the billionaires and fuck everyone else. Does it help me?
Oh, sorry. Did you think that I was going to respond to that? No thanks, I guess. I don't think that this is particularly impressive to admit, but I do care about people besides myself, at least a little bit. And that will drive my political opinions, you know. Sorry in advance, I guess. Okay, you can probably see this video is almost over, so let's take a look at my favorite moment from this response, possibly even a Hall of Famer, honestly. If you think that that was a refreshing statement, I think it may be time to head back to the brain store and pick out one that still works. Refuse.
Oh, so you're calling Shoe on Head stupid. I love the little sly insults. You know, if you're going to insult someone, at least go full bore. Like, call her a bitch, call her a cunt, mock her A cup size. Like, do something. Oh, right, you're too much of a pussy to do that. Even though you have a cock. I think you wish you had a pussy, but you have a cock.
Gonna be honest, a random YouTuber's boobs did not even cross my mind while making my video. No hate to people like Dave who imagine everyone they see naked. Well, okay, a little bit of hate because that's incredibly weird. But sometimes I like to just make a silly, harmless joke for fun, and I don't really want to treat the subject of my response like they're subhuman. Don't get me wrong, I clearly think that Shoe on Head is kind of a dumbass and wrong about a lot of things and kind of a crappy person. But she is, in fact, a person, you know? I feel like you shouldn't forget about that when you talk about people. Anyhow, Dave, since you're definitely watching this, please never change. Watching you scream about inane bullshit is legitimately very entertaining. To the rest of you, thank you for watching. I'd love if you checked out the excerpt of my novel in the description. Haven't talked about that in a while, but it's pretty cool, and you know, you can see if you like it down there. Consider liking this excellent video of mine and subscribing to my YouTube channel, or even joining as a member or a Patreoner. And other than that, have an average day.